Let's go to Mike with Elizabeth Saenger, a member of the Larchmont-Mamaroneck Human Rights Committee, to tell us more about the Martin Luther King Day celebration in our community.
Elizabeth Saenger, it's delightful to have you on the Local Live.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here.
And you're here to talk about a special event that's going to be at Hommocks on Sunday the 7th at 3 o'clock.
Yes.
And it's going to be in the theater at Hommocks. So you're expecting a big crowd for whom?
Well, we have a beginning part of our program is the award, the Human Rights Award to Honorable Valerie O'Keeffe. And this is the award we give every year to the person in our institution and in the community that has done the most to further the ideals and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. And so that will be a very brief part, but very important. And then we have Bill Crawford, Reverend Bill Crawford from Larchmont Avenue Church will introduce Charles M. Blow, who's the op-ed writer and CNN commentator, and is a very eloquent writer and speaker, in fact. Oh, I see his picture. He looks very good. In fact, his speeches, I mean, his writings are actually used in Mamaroneck High School advanced placement English classes just because of their eloquence.
Now, his address is titled, How Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s Life and Legacy Can Help Us Navigate Our Country's Present Crisis. What is this crisis? I mean, he's famous for being very critical of President Trump. Is that the crisis?
I wouldn't say President Trump is, it's just the atmosphere that a lot of people feel of the ground shaking beneath our feet. Lawyers speak to me of their real alarm about rule of law is being questioned. There's the endemic racism. There are very disturbing events like in Charlottesville, Virginia. There's all kinds of events that really cry out for the voice and leadership of Dr. King.
And what would Dr. King's legacy be that could help us deal with these things?
The legacy of nonviolence, and I really stress that nonviolence is not a passive thing. It's a very active way of responding, and I think Dr. King would say with love, with respect and concern to crises that you see, and there are plenty, you know.
Now, of course, he also fostered a racial equality.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I'm wondering with the current immigration crisis and the questions about DACA, around DACA, that has to do with equality for all.
I would imagine that Dr. King would be in the forefront of leadership about protecting the dreamers, welcoming Muslims, welcoming people from anywhere in the country, just as our country, a nation of immigrants, has always welcomed people in a responsible way. But, you know, I think Dr. King would definitely have a lot to say about that. I think he would have a lot to say about creative, nonviolent ways to respond to crises, not demonizing anyone ever, you know, but trying to listen to what people have to say.
Of course, we don't know exactly what Charles Blow is going to say.
We do not know.
But we do know that he's a well-known, well-respected, very high-powered speaker. So we're in for a treat.
Yes.
As well as an education.
I think so. I think, yeah, I'm very much excited about it.
Now, you expect a big crowd, as I say.
Yes.
So let's give the details again. It's at Hommocks in the theater.
Yes.
And it's at 3 o'clock till about 5 o'clock?
We have to be out of there by 5.
Okay.
It's really from 3 until 4:30.
Okay.
We have, the public is invited, free of charge. There will be light refreshments available. I have to stress that not Dr. King, Charles Blow cannot really give interviews separately because of contractual obligations with CNN, especially, and other things. But he will be there to speak, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think one of the things, we have some really good quotations from Dr. King that are less familiar, but one of the more familiar ones that we always say is, it's not the words of my enemies, it's the silence of my friends that concerns me the most. And I have an idea he might want to speak about that, since he is never silent on things he cares about.
Well, we're going to end on that note. Thank you so much for coming down to the local live, and we'll see you on January 7th at 3 o'clock at Hommocks for the 31st annual Martin Luther King Jr. commemoration.
We will have signs. If anyone has a question about which door, there should be ample parking, and we'll greet.
Thank you.